Welcome to the F3G2 comical book reviews here, live, not live, taped, but we were alive when we taped it because otherwise it would look like this.
We'd probably get more viewers.
I'd probably come across better. From the back of the famous Faces and Funnies, that isn't. Look, you watch it's like the ebb and flow of mess. You watched it, it was a mess, and then we had space, and then...
More flow than ebb.
Now I'm claustrophobic up in this bitch. I don't know, I really just confused myself. Alright, let's review some comical books. Comical book. Rat Queens, number 16. Oh no! Something horrible happened to my cameraman. So it ends with the possibly one of the biggest what the fuck moments. And not just a cliffhanger, but the kind of cliffhanger where you turn to the next page of ads and keep going and hit the cover and realize there's nothing past that, and then you do one of these. And then you reread that last page, which only has, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 words, but you reread it because you're thinking maybe, but no, it's, oh my goodness. Let me say, this book, there are people out there who've been giving this book some shit on its latest art. But let me tell you something about Tess Fowler's art. I don't know who Tess Fowler is. This is not a paid endorsement. But you gotta figure. Alright, this book was like the hottest thing in the world. And then some poor life choices ended the art run. And then for like a couple of issues, there was a delay, there was a hold up, and then for a couple of issues we had Steven Stepchick. I don't know how you say it.
Steven Stepchick.
The guy that I talk to sometimes on Facebook and does like gorgeous art. I don't know how he has time to make his art that gorgeous and that finished. When he's always on the Book of Face. And then he was like, I got my own thing. I don't really have time for this, so he went off. Those were two sets of mighty big shoes to fill. And whereas this is a different style of art.
It's not terrible, but she's not up to the task.
No, you're wrong. She's up to the task, is what I'm saying. Look,
it's not terrible. It's just not right for the book.
It's perfect for the book. This art is perfect. It's not even like, it's serviceable. No, this is good art. It's just you're trying to go. I had an orange in there, and now I have an apple. It's a perfectly great apple. You just expected an orange. Get over it. All right. So people keep giving her shit. But I think the art's great for this, and I continue to love it. The only flaw I see, the only thing this book has taken enough beatings that it's staggered its pace. So sometimes when it comes out, I have to sit there and think, wait, and wherever it's picking up is never the last thing I remember, and then it's not until halfway in that I say, okay, all right. Hot damn. Number 2.
You're waiting for that, weren't you?
No, this book is so good. So good. Have I mentioned that this book is so good? Ryan Ferrier and Valentine Ramon. Valentine Ramon. It's crazy. This was a book. Should have come out last week, but the store got some damaged copies, so I got it this week. And Rick, the owner of the store, was like, hey, did you want that? I don't remember. I was like, I gotta tell you, when number 1 came in, I didn't remember ordering it. I had no idea what the fuck it was. But then I read it, and I was so glad that I did. The idea is so fucked up. Our main character is Ted's in hell, but hell is like you're in a giant therapy group, and you don't really get punished until you accept that what you've done is wrong. And once you accept that, you're in a place where you now can feel bad about what you've done, and you go on to be punished. So for the most part, hell is just kind of two layers. A layer of debaucherous assholes in denial, and those being punished. But beyond that, heaven is boring. And the people in heaven are not all as thrilled to be there. Some of them are not as thrilled to be there as they could be. Our protagonist, because I don't think hero is the right word, went along on an unsanctioned possession in the first issue, where he saw his girlfriend, fiance, has now devoted her life to Jesus because when he died of his wicked ways, she turned over, and he really wants to help her get past that. There's so many little crazy things in the details in the back of here. It's just maddening. It's just maddening, but it is so. It is not for the morally uptight or squeamish, but it's so good. Uncanny X-Men, 2 angels, man. Especially confusing because really there's 3 angels, but the other one's in the other book, and he's the young angel from the past. But we've got Angel and Archangel, but Angel is working for the Church of Apocalypse and has cut off his own wings. Archangel doesn't have much of a memory left, and it's all very, it's X-Men. I'm sure there's time travel and dimension hopping and all sorts of nutsy stuff, but it's heady. Howard the Duck, number 7. As Howard, She-Hulk, Old Man Cap, Spider-Man, Daredevil, in the Savage Land, drawn by Kevin Maguire. Just take that in. Take a moment. Spider-Man, Daredevil, She-Hulk.
Yes. Talk about the damn book.
Captain America, Howard the Duck, dinosaurs, Kevin Maguire, facial expressions everywhere. And Chip Zdarsky, I like this man. I would drink with this man. I would just listen, and I'm a talker. But I would just sit there and listen, hoping that some modicum of his view of the world rubbed off. I love this book. Daredevil and She-Hulk are on opposing legal sides. Spidey is great every time he shows up in Howard the Duck, and they just fuck with Spidey on such a crazy level. Kevin Maguire is Kevin Maguire. That's it. That's all you ever need to know about Kevin Maguire. Kevin Maguire continues to be Kevin Maguire. There's a great little ending. There's ridiculous helmets. There's a moment where our shape-changing Skrull sidekick assistant of all shades turns into a wall for the people to hide behind, but as Howard comes up to Touchable, she's like, "No touching!" And the wall changes colors and says, "No touching." She's like, "I had to disrobe in order to change. No touching." She's basically naked, and even though you can't tell what parts are there, it's still uncomfortable for her to have just people touching her while she's naked in the Savage Land. They are working on the problem. They know that there are shape-shifting people in the Marvel Universe whose clothes change with them, so they've got to come up with a solution to this. They also realize that Mystique, when she changes, since her clothes change with her, but that means she's not wearing clothes, so anytime you've ever met Mystique, she's been naked, and that kind of boggles some of their minds. Spider 2090 number 10. Be careful what you wish for. You just may get it. You want your girlfriend back? She's there, but she's comatose. You want to figure out how to get back to 2099? You can, but something's fucked the timeline. It's Peter David writing Spider-Man 2099. That is all you need to know. This sets up the Sinister 6 2099. Yeah. Action verse number 1. Well, it's Action verse featuring Midnight Tiger. They're all number 1s, and they go together to tell that little story. So, Midnight Tiger and Stray versus Virtue, until eventually it becomes Virtue versus Molly Danger. Shit gets real. Dr. Medulla, Molly Danger's bad guy, is currently teaming with First Hero because he's the only one smart enough to help stop the true bad guy. So you've got bad guy teaming up for the right reason. Well, he's doing the right thing, but really just because he'd rather not see the world get taken over by someone else. Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man. Mary Jane's working for Tony Stark. Yeah. Throws Peter Parker for a loop. Yeah. Peter Parker's all upset. It starts the intro of that guy. That guy that was stealing all the powers in the Secret Wars Spider-Man story is now getting his origin in the real world. And as we know, he was a problem who took down the Avengers, and eventually it took Spidey and his daughter to stop him. But in this world, Peter's not married to Mary Jane. They don't have a daughter. So how are they going to stop him? The answer is probably a different way, but I really, really just think, hey, can we just...
There's no shortage of spiders.
Green Lantern number 52. Love Robert Venditti, the person. I haven't been, and I like most of what the things he's written in his comical book career. I have not been a huge fan of the Green Lantern work. And I continued with this. I don't hate it. It just, I don't know. But we're setting up for Rebirth, so I don't know how much of this. Although it's confusing because Rebirth seems to be shaking some shit up, but at the same time, Rebirth was still. Robert Venditti's gonna still be writing Green Lantern, so he's like, you know, there's not a lot of cases where there's that level of follow through. So, if they make a lot of changes, his should have the smoothest transition because it's the guy going, yeah, okay, I was doing this, but now we're going this way. Or they may not make as many changes. I don't know. In this, he sort of explains his running away, which they've explained before, but he sort of explains his whole running away with Kronos' gauntlet and why he did that and how he was taking the heat so that people would trust the Green Lanterns again and only blame him, but it doesn't really help when the rest of the Green Lanterns went missing, so the only one there is, there's only one Green Lantern left and it's him and nobody likes him. Mm-hmm. There's a $15 comic on eBay. Because it's got the first appearance of the new Chinese Superman. It's also got the Great 10. I love the Great 10. Their interactions are a bit... Because, you know, Batman was on a team with them. You know, they're fighting... I forget his name. They all have those great... multi-word.
I remember.
Sounds like he's like the August General in Iron, right?
General in Iron.
Yeah, the August General in Iron. There was nowhere near any page that said any of that, but suddenly it all flowed to me as I started thinking of the way their names are. And then we get the origin of the new Chinese Superman, whose name I don't remember, and plus I had it in my head for a while because they were talking about it online, but then they changed it. They changed his name just recently, so I don't remember what it is. But, You work with my felons, you feel like I do, and stay up reading these things all night. See how much not yawning you can do the next day.
Yeah, God forbid you drink the caffeinated drink you asked me for.
I don't really drink. I don't remember asking. And when you gave it to me, I didn't know what you were doing. I just thought you were being nice, which was weird as it was.
It was, but there was a purpose behind it, too.
See, you could have explained that before we started filming. But I don't think it would have helped, to be honest. It would have been hyper and yawning. Or bloated and yawning, because it's bubbles. But anywho, yeah, it's okay. This is going out. I like this issue. Tomasi can write, so that's good. I love the Great 10, so that was fun. We got a little bit of an origin, a little peek towards the future setup of whatever. But Batman and August, General and Iron were both on the new 52. There's like a huge. It's not. They don't even have like.
Is something trying to claw through the wall?
They don't even have rodents in the wall. That noise means they have. It's not a rat.
It's ROUS.
They have a capybara in the wall. But Batman and August, General and Iron were on the Justice League International in New 52. So the fact that there's no we know each other going on there just seemed weird to me. Punisher #1 by Becky Cloonan and what's Dylan's first name? Steve Dillon. For some reason I get all the Dillons in my head mixed up, including several that I know in real life. But Steve Dillon, as we know, I've loved him since I first saw him on The Blazer of Hell. But we've seen him, we know he's helped make a definitive version of the Sheriff pun. So it was great to see him back. And then Becky Cloonan is Becky Cloonan. And I can say for a fact that Punisher does not say a single word out of character. In fact, much to her credit, he doesn't say a single word in this issue, and somehow that makes him more in character than he may possibly have ever been. This was such a great issue. It just really sets up that Punisher is no nonsense, uber focus, and Becky Cloonan did a great job. And it's also important to note right now there aren't a lot of. In fact, I can't think of any. I don't like saying absolute, so I don't want to say there are absolutely none. But within the mainstream Marvel DC universes, there's a couple of teams like Gail Simone, is writing Secret Six, and that's got, that's like a split of characters, but there's not really anyone immediately coming to mind of a female writer on a male character solo book. There are a lot of female writers and female artists on, female character books, almost like it's, oh, well, you're a girl, you're a girl, you have to draw the girl comics. You have to write the girl comics. So it was really nice. And she knocked it out of the park. She literally went and played with the big boys and beat them. So that's kudos there. Black Widow, Mark Waid and Chris Samney. Oh, another one of those endings that made you go, what? Widow's being blackmailed. She has to do some. Widow did a bad thing. My leg is killing me in that stupid thing. My new lightweight boot. Ooh, sexy. But it annoys me more than the other. But this is so good. They are doing to Black Widow what they did for Daredevil, which is just, here's a shot of much needed oomph. Go. And I love it. Empress #2. Continues another Mark Miller book that I'm really liking. Who knew? Stuart Immonen artwork, gorgeous. In fact, at this point, I think I can stop saying who knew. I think at this point, there are more Mark Miller books that I like than I don't like, which to me must mean one of us has grown, either him or me. I'm going to pick him, which I didn't want to do at first because I didn't want to make it sound like, oh, I thought his books were, he wasn't, that seemed kind of pretentious to me. But the reason I'll say it was him that has grown is because I know me, and I'm fairly certain that while my thought process is extremely fluid, my emotional and intellectual growth has been fairly stagnant since about 8th grade.
Yep.
So I think it was him that grew. And somehow I was able to appreciate it more. He may have devolved it. Whatever.
Something happened. You like it.
Oh my God. Well, there's a lot of books this week that ended with serious...
What the shit, man?
What the fuck moments. See, I'm not spoiling it for you. I'm going to flip to the actual last page. Just look at this. Look. Oh, no, what are they dropping there? Oh, no, what's going to happen?
Oh, bloody hell.
That seems not good.
No.
It's Iron Man and Iron Man. Together they both are Iron Man. Introducing, okay, she doesn't have a hero name yet, but she's working on it. It's whoever's in that armor that looks like Iron Man, but is it, I can honestly tell you, I don't remember. I read this one really late last night, and this one is still mostly flashing back and forth between Tony now and his, another mysterious, dangerous, wrong side of the law woman that Tony Stark has a romantic history with, and the flashbacks to that actual romantic history. Both good. The number 9. This one, I gotta say, it's the Diodato art that threw me for a loop. I really liked the art on the first few issues. I like Diodato, and yet I don't. I find a lot of the time I just get lost in the murky darkness that is his art style. That's a me thing. Some people love him for exactly that reason. So knock yourself out. Renato Jones, the 1%. This was weird. And it's no longer on my pull list. Space Battle Lunchtime. I forgot I ordered this. Because I forget a lot of things.
Yeah.
This is by Natalie Rice. She's working in like a Starbucks kind of place, a little cafe, a little coffee house, and her name's Peony, even though people keep calling her Penny. But Peony came up with mini carrot cherry cakes. She's like, yeah, I'm not really supposed to invent recipes on the job, but I got here early, I made these things. But she's telling this to like this frog lizard lady that people like, she's on the phone, and like her boss is like, Peony's boss is like, is she wearing a frog costume? I'm not sure. But it turns out she's actually the part of the talent recruiter for an intergalactic cooking show, and the person they were gonna get backed out, so she last second recruits Peony, who now goes into space for a show called Space Battle Lunchtime. And you're probably not familiar with the show, being from Earth, so I'll give you a quick rundown. Space Battle Lunchtime is a filmed and serialized competition where 6 chefs compete in food-based challenges. Each round is judged, and the lowest scoring chef is eliminated from the show. Oh, like Tough Chef or Steaks on a Flan? That was it. The book was good, but at Snakes on a Flan, she had me, because I'm opening that as a restaurant.
What the hell?
But, except instead of rinky-dink Earth chefs, you're up against the top culinary artists in the star system for fame and a $20,000 solar buck prize. So it ends with their first ingredient revealed, and it's some weird space thing, and she has to figure out what to cook with it and how to keep up with these up. Aftershock Genesis #1. I'm loving the Aftershock books that I've been reading. This has 2 little peaks in here, one at Black Eyed Kids and the other at Altars, and then there's some other little I cannot wait for Captain Kidd by Mark Waid, Tom Pear, and Wilfredo Torres. The idea of an older guy who has the power to. It's like the reverse of Shazam was this kid who had the power to turn into an adult. This is like a middle-aged guy who has the power to turn into a Superman level powered teenager, and the question being, why would you ever turn back? A-Force continues to be the best Avengers book in Marvel right now. A-Force number 5. Interesting Dazzler developments, not the least of which, but also not the biggest of which, being there are 2 Dazzlers now. Dazzler Thor has found her way and is lost as part of in the in-between. Dazzler Thor of the Thor Corps from the from the Thor's book in Secret Wars has been displaced and is a remnant of times gone by, now stuck in our world. So you've got Dazzler and Dazzler Thor on the team. This book is so good. Ben Caldwell took over on art. Kelly Thompson is still writing. And it's just great. It's so much just fun. Fun is the word I'm looking for. Sam Wilson, Captain America. Cap's back. People, it's so a sign. This book is so at the forefront of our times. Now that Cap's back, there are people calling, people, there are already people with the not my Captain America, but now they're saying, look, we can respect what he did for trying to keep the name alive, but he should do the honorable thing and step down. Now, real Cap is back. We need a Cap that brings us together, not divides us. All this stuff going on. But meanwhile, Steve's like, no, you don't have to. I want you to stay Captain. We'll be co-captains. I wonder how my friend Steve Price feels, because they've brought back the AmeriCops. My friend Steve Price, I have 2 friends Steve Price. That's important to know. So not the one, anyone watching this show that knows Steve Price in relation to Famous Faces and Funnies, not him. Steve Price from New York. He has a character named AmeriCop that when they did their AmeriCop back in the 90s in Marvel, he actually got a cease and desist and got them to stop using the character, which is impressive. But now they have Disney money. And I don't know if he'll be able to. So his character of with the jacket that says in big letter O, and then it gets smaller letters, and eventually you realize it spells out, but not all one word per line. Like it ends up spelling out, "Oh, say, can you see?" on the back of his jacket. They've got those AmeriCops. So I wonder how that's going to go. I wonder how he's reacting right this moment. Also, they use chants in here, and the idea is there are various reasons. Sam is on the completely, no, we need to arrest Maria Hill after the whole fiasco she just had with Pleasant Hill. But there are reasons why they're like, look, we can't really just do this. Here's why she should get, and then there's the moral dilemma of, do you do the wrong thing for the right reasons, the right thing for the wrong reasons, or the right thing for the right reasons, even though it'll have horrible, horrible consequences? So nobody, that tricky situation of how do you be the best you can be when no one will know how good a you'll be. New Avengers, number 11. The team sort of reestablishes itself, and once again, I'm still waiting for them to do it, to give me a full thing, but I'm still happy with, they just keep giving me these last pages of Cannonball and Sunspot. And I want Cannonball on the team, and I really want Sunspot to be able to use his powers again and not be suffering from this. I get that, I blame Fox and Marvel for this, because Marvel for giving their own rights away and not thinking about it, and they put themselves in this boat. But they're trying to make the Inhumans be as big as the mutants are. So they because they don't have movie rights to and they're trying to, but they got movie rights to Inhumans, and they're really trying to. But the Inhumans, as much as I love Inhumans, I haven't even been able to read the latest issues because they don't get enough in here, because it doesn't sell enough for them to get enough for me to read and review. And I loved reading it, but I didn't love reading it enough to order it and add it to my ever-growing pull list. So thanks to this push of Inhumans, we've now got Terrigen Mists fucking with mutants, which somehow no one noticed it did before. But this means a lot of my favorite characters are sidelined again, and I call for justice. Justice, I say. Suicide Squad. Continue. It's got some high points, but it's mostly an okay book. Rick and I, the owner of this place, were just talking about. Rick's not a huge Tim Seeley fan, like at all. And he's like, has he ever written a good book? And I was like, Revival. I'm like, I love him on Revival, the book that he writes, that he, his creator on book. And Rick had to look up because Rick didn't believe me that was him, because he's like, no, that is a good book. I was like, but everything else is just kind of okay, and this falls into the just kind of okay. Spider-Gwen, don't let that cover totally fool you. This is tying into Spider-Women, the crossover that I really haven't been reading, so I only sort of know what's going on. But apparently, Cindy Moon of the other Earth, of Spider-Gwen's Earth, is bad, and she's now in regular Marvel Earth, and everyone thinks all the bad things she's doing are regular Marvel Earth's Silk. This,
the hell, Weavers.
This was really good. This is another one of the many books that I'll start my reviews off with. I don't remember ordering this. Wasn't sure what the hell this was. I saw Simon Spurrier's name on there, and I'm like, okay. I've read many a strange thing by him that I've liked, so I guess, so I believe I ordered it, but I have no idea what. There's an organized crime group called the Weavers. The reason they're called that is they get abilities granted to them from these weird little glowing spiders like that when you die, the spider thing comes out of you, picks somebody, goes into them, and so it's not like. It's like, what if you entered the Mafia like the Green Lantern Corps? Like this power thing sought out and said, you're worthy, and now you're part of the family. So there's a new guy who is replacing, who was the woman who was the brains. It was a brother and sister team being the brain and brawn of this, of the Weavers organization. He's this brand new guy having to replace the most trusted and most intelligent person on their team, or in their family, as it were, and he's not necessarily great at it, and they all have their suspicions as to, is he a plant, is he with the feds, and it was great. Simon Spurrier on doing all the writing, and Dylan Burnett doing all the arting, and Triana Farrell doing all the coloring, and Jim Campbell doing all the letters, and it was so good. I was like, wow, okay. Because the first few, I wasn't sure what was going on, and you're not supposed to. In the beginning, you're like, what the hell? And I had so many books, I almost just, gave up. But it just took one extra turn of a page when I started going, whoa, what's going on? And then I'm so happy with this. So read that, check that out, kind of cool. Only a 6-issue mini, so you can commit without committing. And that's it, I've run out of comic books. Be good. Watch out for capybaras in your walls.
Thanks for watching another video from Gonna Geek. If you like geeky stuff, check out our podcast network, our news and articles, and our community forums. You can find it all at GonnaGeek.com, like us at Facebook.com/GonnaGeek, tweet us at GonnaGeek, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/GonnaGeek, and check out our live programming at GonnaGeek.com/live.